Southwest Louisiana. This is 7 News live at 5.
We're going to drop the pump, and then we're going to pick up the patient.
That's U.S. Coast Guard footage of Saturday's rescue of 2 Lake Charles men. Good evening, I'm Erica Bivens. Carl Schramm and Chris Bajron made a distress call around 10:30 a.m. Saturday, about 125 miles southeast of Galveston, stating their 42-foot boat was quickly sinking and they were planning to swim to the nearest oil rig. Well, after hours of searching, the men were able to send out their location through a satellite phone. Around 6:30 p.m., Coast Guard Sector Houston-Galveston reports their airplane located the men about 60 miles southeast of Sabine Pass. A helicopter there with rescue divers helped the men de-water their sinking boat until a cutter could tow it in. Family members tell us Bajron is at home resting today while Schramm remains at a hospital in Galveston. We'll have more from the family tonight at 10. Another fallen officer was laid to rest this weekend. East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Deputy Brad Garofola was one of 3 law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty just 6 days ago, ambushed as he ended his shift. Kevin Frey takes us inside that heartfelt funeral service.
We've lost a beloved husband, a father, a son, a brother, a friend, a colleague, and a public servant.
A life lost, but a legacy of service that will never fade.
We're not here just mourning a loss, Tanya. We're here celebrating a life, and there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to respect. There's a lot to honor. And it's an amazing model for so many people in this country.
Deputy Brad Garofola served his community for 24 years. He was a man who lived as a hero. He was a man who died as a hero.
He saw one of his fellow officers had been hit and needed help. And he left the place of safety to go and render aid to that fallen officer.
John chapter 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than to lay down his life for one's friend." Brad laid down his life for you, for me, and for those of us he did not even know.
Packing the church Saturday afternoon, law enforcement officers from across the country and beyond. A patchwork of blue, black, and green, there to honor the life of a fallen brother.
It is a most noble profession. A profession in which you are often expected to remedy all societal ills and do so flawlessly with sometimes little respect and recognition.
In life, Deputy Garofola's commitment to service did not end when he took off the badge. Besides deputy, he carried another title, the neighborhood husband.
He was always helping his neighbors do things they were unable to do, whether it was cutting grass, cutting someone's grass, or removing an uninvited snake.
In reflecting on the deputy's life, the governor said Garofola served as an example of strength and courage.
Let the heroism and sacrifice of Brad inspire all of us to unity and healing through peace and love so that we can do better, so that we will be better.
Outside, a gun salute as a community bid farewell to their hero.
Well done, good and faithful servant. Well done. Rest in peace, my brother. We will take it from here.
Now, funeral services for Baton Rouge Corporal Montrell Jackson will be held Monday starting at 9 a.m. at Living Faith Christian Center in Baton Rouge. Turning now to weather, Zach, we could be looking at some pop-up storms out there, huh?
We have some out there right now. Most of them are north of I-10, and I'm going to show them to you on Storm Vision HD because Lake Charles, we had our pop-up storm around noon, but we've quieted down. But let me show you where it is storming right now because it has been storming like crazy across portions of northeastern Beauregard Parish, places like Sugartown, Grant, Mitty. These locations have seen a very intense thunderstorm over the past, say, 30 minutes to an hour, but the good news is it's calmed down. You can see the heavier storm activity is pushed off to your south and west, and it's going to stay there. It looks like it's jumped right over you, DeRidder. It looked like it wanted to move right into downtown DeRidder, but it's jumped right over you, and it is now moving into places like Maryville. And you could, as I put this in motion, you'll see how these storms continue to move from the northeast to the the southwest, but they sort of migrate along. They're not like one distinct line. They sort of jump spots, and so that's something we'll be watching. You see that boundary south of Singer? That's the outflow boundary from those storms, and that's going to continue to march down to the south. But these storms, they want to go where the best heat is right now, and you can see the best heat is across the southwestern portion of the area, right along the Sabine River. Most locations that have the clouds now, it looks like you're done with the rain for today, but watch out. Some big storms out there right now. We're going to get used to this. I'll tell you all about it in your work week forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach. Still to come, Lafayette remembers last year's shooting at the Grand 16 Theater. More on what Lafayette Strong is all about right after this.
The most decorated Olympian of all time is back in the water and doing what he does best, winning. In the 100-meter butterfly, he had the fastest time in the world this year. In the 200-meter individual medley, he had the fastest time in the world this year. And in the 200-meter butterfly, the fastest time in the world this year. He's back and aiming for Rio. The Olympics, this August on NBC.
$5 Sonic Boombox gives you a lot for $5.
Yeah, man, Abraham Lincoln would be very proud of this. It's an honest deal.
And they named one of the sides after his wife.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah, Mary Tots Lincoln.
The $5 Sonic Boombox featuring a loaded cheddar dog, junior cheeseburger, side, and a drink. This is how you Sonic.
Just announced, Chevrolet is again the #1 domestic brand for quality by J.D. Power. Better than Ford, better than Dodge, better than any domestic brand. Chevy is #1, and your Lake Charles area Chevy dealers are celebrating by saving you money. Save 20% off MSRP on a great selection of new Chevrolets. That's right, save 20% off MSRP on the #1 cars, trucks, and SUVs for quality. So for the highest quality domestic cars, trucks, and SUVs, come to your Lake Charles area Chevy dealers.
Just like all moms, I'm always concerned about my children's well-being. But sometimes they get sick. Sometimes they get hurt. That's why I'm so grateful we have children's hospitals. Because when any child needs a miracle, they'll do everything in their power to make one happen. With our support. Please join me in giving sick and injured children every chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Please join me in supporting Christus St. Patrick Hospital.
Nearly 30,000 men and women run Louisiana chemical manufacturing 24/7. Good people with good jobs, and they're proud of what they make. Chemicals that go into everything we use every day. Smartphones and HD TVs, medicines, clean drinking water, cosmetics. The list is endless. If you can name it, chemicals helped make it. Louisiana chemical manufacturing. People making things, lots of things, that make our lives better. Much better.
Thanks to this Oreo caramel shake, Kara.
Caramel for Kara. That makes sense.
And Janine for peanut butter.
I don't get it. Why?
Because she reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, Janine, who was nuts.
23 real ice cream shakes, all half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
1 year ago, the city of Lafayette was mourning the loss of 2 young women after a gunman opened fire in a movie theater. As the news traveled, an outpouring of support from across the nation was felt in Acadiana. As KPLC's Jillian Corder reflects, for many there that night, they'll never forget those terrifying moments.
I'm reporting the shooting at the Grand 16.
When police arrived, people were running out of the theater.
How many shots you heard? Like 6 or 7. He shot right at people.
Right about 20 minutes after the movie started, I heard a loud bang noise. I wasn't sure that gunshot sounded like that. A couple seconds after that, I heard 3 or 4 more shots back to back, so I knew something wasn't right.
Before opening fire on the crowd, John Russell Hauser seemed like any other moviegoer.
Didn't set off any alarms with anybody. He wasn't acting any different than any other person who was in line to get their tickets.
But he was different. He bought a ticket, walked into Screen 14, sat in silence for about 20 minutes, then decided to shoot 11 people, killing 2, then himself.
Suspect is down. Suspect is down.
Jillian Johnson, a business owner with a talent for music, and Macy Bro, a radiology student at LSUE, were killed in the shooting.
Hers is a legacy of symbol, a legacy of being the change you want to see in the world.
Their deaths led to a call for gun control.
How many breaking news flashes will it take for Congress to act?
But beyond the national headlines was a city.
I have no doubt that the optimism of Lafayette is going to get us all through it because we're all kind of like a family here.
The people of Lafayette could have let the pain, the shock, overwhelm them. But with support from around the country, their spirits could not be broken.
We're not going to let incidents like this affect Lafayette.
What happened at the Grand won't be forgotten. Neither will the 2 young women taken too soon. But the city proved to the world what it meant to be Lafayette strong. At your service, Jillian Corder, KPLC 7 News.
Hard to believe it's already been a full year since that, though, huh?
Time flies.
It sure does.
Just in general. And we're tracking some storms this afternoon because we do have some heavy thunderstorms, mainly across northern spots. I'll have the latest look at Storm Vision HD and have your new work week forecast. All of that coming up after the break.
Find neighbors who share your interests, passions, and hobbies on SWLA Connected. It's easy to get started. Log on to sign up or download the free app. Sponsored by Chastain's Food and Spirits. Nestled under the historic Sallier Oak, the Imperial Calcasieu Museum preserves our rich past and explores the future of visual art. Step back in time as you discover centuries of Imperial Calcasieu history. Then step into the Gibson Barham Gallery to experience the diverse works of contemporary and traditional artists. Branch Out Summer Arts Camp explores surrealism through drawing, painting, printmaking, and sculpture. Arts education and cultural preservation, the Imperial Calcasieu Museum.
Neighborhoods just aren't the same anymore. A lot of us have never even met our neighbors. That's why I joined SWLA Connected. It's a great way to stay, well, connected. You can invite the block to your garage sale, organize a group, work with your neighbors to keep an eye on crime.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Katie. Or send a private message, or post an alert if you're ever in need of a helping hand.
Oh, you found him. Oh.
SWLA Connected, because a more connected neighborhood is just neighborly.
KPLC and the Diamond Durrell's Diamond Team want to make your day sparkle. Enter our giveaway and you could win a Ronaldo Power of Prayer bracelet valued at $70. Log on to KPLCTV.com and click on the contest page to enter today.
There are jobs, and then there are careers that are fulfilling. Careers that give you the opportunity to innovate, to be the technology leaders, while working with creative minds. The chance to share success with others and make an impact on your part of the world. At Raycom Media, we're looking now for people who want more than a job. People like you. Go to RaycomMedia.com and click on Careers.
We call it Southwest Louisiana. Sportsman's paradise, Cajun country. Well, the names may be up for debate, but whether you're from West Calcasieu, East Beauregard, or the Cameron Coast, everyone agrees. Our proud traditions make us a certain way. It's the way we embrace our faith, community, and our heritage. That way is what unites us. It's what we call home.
From the 7 Storm Team, your first alert weather with meteorologist Zach Fradella.
I've been tracking these storms out of central Louisiana, and it looked like they were going to move right into DeRidder, but they've sort of jumped right over you in DeRidder. This is actually, we're looking west, so these storms have already passed you, but it really didn't pour, especially in downtown DeRidder. But I'm going to show you that storm on Storm Vision HD. Here's our Skycam location in downtown DeRidder, and we're looking west on that Skycam that shows you, and that's the rain you're seeing out there, the rain shaft, but it's already passed you by. The heavier storm activity was to your northeast, and it just kind of jumped right over your location. As I put this in motion, you'll see how the storm blew up big time right over Sugartown, lots of intense lightning, and then it just jumped right over you in DeRidder. Now it's moving closer to Maryville, and I think all of this is going to be moving across the Sabine into Texas very shortly. But places along, say, Highway 27, on to, say, US 190, getting close to the Sabine, some very heavy thunderstorms happening right now. And these storms, they can produce some very heavy rainfall in a short period of time. You know what happens during the summer. The skies get dark, and then it just lets loose on you. And here's this little boundary that we're tracking. This is the actual outflow boundary. As storms develop, they push out cool air, and that's what fires new storms. But notice how once you get to, say, around Moss Bluff, you might have a gust of wind coming through, but we're not seeing storms redevelop behind that boundary. So I think Lake Charles, we've seen too much cloud cover over, say, the past few hours. I think we're sort of done with the rain across Lake Charles. But places farther off to the west, say Vinton, north to Starks, to Bancroft, you might see storms develop once this boundary moves moves through. And here's why. You see this boundary move through Lake Charles? It never produced any rainfall. It never really produced any storms. And then this boundary coming down from the north, the storms are going to develop where you have the most heating, and that most heating is right in this boundary area where none of these boundaries have actually made. I know I'm saying a lot of boundaries, but that's sort of what happens during the summer. It's trying to depict where the best heating is on the map, and right now, see all the northern spots, you have cooled off. Still, I would say it's hot in Lake Charles, but I think we just have too much cloud cover to see those storms develop. It's right over these locations, maybe Sulphur to DeQuincy onto the Sabine. That's where I think you're going to have to watch out for some extra thunderstorm development during the early evening hours on your Sunday. Here's Future Clouds Radar. Get used to the storms, but it's good news because it kind of eliminates the heat just a little bit. Doesn't eliminate the heat altogether, but tomorrow morning, we're going to be tracking some heavy thunderstorms, I think, down along the coast in the morning hours. Look what happens during the afternoon hours, though. Yes, I'm going to definitely bump up the rain coverage. We're going to have a little upper-level disturbance passes by on Monday. Anytime at this time of year we get any kind of atmospheric disturbance, it takes our usual summertime storms and increases the coverage of those. So as we go into Monday, you can see that 60% coverage is expected. So there will definitely be a lot of clouds around tomorrow and a lot of storms around. It's just something to watch out for. That's why you need the weather app to track those storms. We're going to keep that better rain coverage up through Tuesday, and then slowly we'll transition back to a normal summer pattern. But at least the next 2 days, look at those highs. Only 90. Sounds like fall. Not really, but we can dream of fall in a few months.
So it's a little ways out there. Well, turning now to our weekend movie roundup, Star Trek Beyond soars to the top of the box office this week. The USS Enterprise crew has returned to the big screen for another intergalactic adventure, debuting with $59.6 million. And The Secret Life of Pets was popular again this week, coming in second place with $29.3 million, brought to life by comedic voices. The animated movie imagines what pets do when their owners aren't around. And rounding out the top three, a family faces terrors that make them question their sanity in their horror movie Lights Out. The scary flick also bringing in $29.3 million in its first week in theaters. I saw that. Secret Life of Pets, it was good.
I have not seen it yet, but Ice Age is about to come out too.
Oh, excited for that. Let's stick around. Mike's back here next with sports.
Nestled under the historic Sallier Oak, the Imperial Calcasieu Museum preserves our rich past and explores the future of visual art. Step back in time as you discover centuries of Imperial Calcasieu history. Then step into the Gibson Barham Gallery to experience the diverse works of contemporary and traditional artists. Branch Out Summer Arts Camp explores surrealism through drawing, painting, printmaking, and sculpture. Arts education and cultural preservation, the Imperial Calcasieu Museum.
The promise of the Seven Storm Team is that everyone has access to critical information no matter where they are. And our technology gives us the power to do just that.
During a storm, we know thousands of people are depending on us for reliable information. If we can help keep you and your family safe, that makes us feel good.
Delivering potentially life-saving information is a responsibility we take seriously. And that's why we can honestly say you can rely on the Seven Storm Team.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
At KPLC 7 News Sunrise, our morning starts with yours. We get you caught up on what happened overnight and the big stories happening today.
Breaking news this morning from South Lake Charles.
We're the only place to get a reliable pinpoint forecast.
A muggy start to your morning could lead to showers.
And we make sure you know about the traffic and construction that can slow you down. Don't start your day without KPLC 7 News Sunrise. Our morning starts with yours.
Neighborhoods just aren't the same anymore. A lot of us have never even met our neighbors. That's why I joined SWLA Connected. It's a great way to stay, well, connected. You can invite the block to your garage sale, organize a group, work with your neighbors to keep an eye on crime.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Katie. Or send a private message, or post an alert if you're ever in need of a helping hand.
Oh, you found him. Oh.
SWLA Connected, because a more connected neighborhood is just neighborly.
Our KPLC 7 Sports Person of the Week is Olympic pole vaulter Annika Newell. The New Mexico native jumped her way to Rio for Team Canada thanks to her dual citizenship. After the Olympics, Newell will be moving to Lake Charles to coach at the Bayou Vault Club.
The 7 Sports Person of the Week is sponsored by Billy Navarre. With quick service and low prices, we challenge any dealer in America to beat.
where local sports come first. 7 Sports with Mike Gaither.
Yeah, we had an 80-pound Warsaw weighed in, and some nice yellowfin tuna and some big barracuda. And the seas were very calm out there, and it was a nice weekend for all that.
I guess you could say the fish were biting this weekend. Nearly 300 anglers took part in this weekend's Salty Catch Fishing Rodeo hosted at the Golden Nugget. A large part of the proceeds benefiting St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The event was open to the public, featuring live entertainment, food and drinks, and more than $75,000 in prizes were given out among 6 divisions of fishermen. Sunday, the weigh-in started at 8 a.m. till 2 p.m., and anglers brought all types of fish from big yellowfin tuna to monster Warsaw grouper and kingfish. The goal was simple: to bring back an event similar to the old fishing rodeos back in the 70s and 80s.
We've needed an event like this for the fishermen in our community for quite a long time. We've sort of been missing the turnout that fishing brings. Fishing is a huge part of our community and what we're all about here in Southwest Louisiana. So the gang at Cajun Tackle, Salty Catch Rodeo Group, and Crystal LaFosse did a great job with this. This is her first year. And so we're excited about it, and we're hoping that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, they did a great job bringing in fish. They got some big tuna on the boards, big grouper, trout, redfish, just lots of good fish coming in. Fishing was good this weekend. Weather held up. It was all great.
This is a very well-done event, which is not easy to do. So in the future, I think that it bodes well for a lot bigger turnout, a lot more anglers, a lot bigger draw here at the Golden Nugget. Nice place to have it.
And with more than $75,000 in prizes that were given out amongst the 6 divisions of fishermen, the offshore Matt Leger hauled in the biggest tuna at over 79 pounds. Regan Lejeune landed the biggest wahoo at just over 25 pounds. And inshore, the biggest redfish belonged to Chris Chandler at over 31 pounds. And how about this stud, Stephen Bordelon, with an 89.2-pound Warsaw grouper. Pretty impressive stuff this weekend. And the wait is now over. Alex Bregman era in Houston has officially begun. Following the Astros' 11-2 win on Sunday, the team announced the former number 2 overall pick out of LSU will be called up to the big leagues. The infielder cranked out 20 home runs in 80 games between AA and AAA this season. Houston, they'll host the Yankees for a 3-game set starting Monday in Minute Maid Park. And, of course, Alex Bregman expected to be in the lineup, so everyone looking forward to that.
Well, excitement there. Well, stick with us. Zach has a final check on your forecast right after this.
The new weather app from 7 News. New features, a whole new level of keeping your family safe. The power and precision of the 7 Storm Team, plus the customization you want. Now with pinpoint radar accuracy, targeted warnings where you live, and the power to alert your family and friends wherever they are. Download the free 7 Storm Team weather app. Text weather app to 33777 or search KPLC in your app store today.
Let's play.
From the Outlaws.
I think we know how this is going to go.
To the Warriors.
Nobody can dispute the rightness of what we're doing.
And every heart pounder, smoke and barrel, hot pursuit, and powerhouse punch in between.
Sometimes you gotta go for it.
Ante up and kick in like men. Like men!
It all is.
You ain't seen bad yet.
On Grit Television with Backbone.
I would recommend that anybody come to work for Raycom Media.
Anytime one of my friends starts working for Raycom, I'm like, welcome to the family.
I feel like I'm making a difference.
You just might even find your own passion. I started as cameras, but now I'm learning weather.
Here I've been given a lot of space to kind of create stuff.
Raycom Media really has an interest in helping me grow as the company grows.
They provide you with all of the tools that you need in order to find what you're passionate about and to do what you love.
And some breaking news to report. Beauregard Parish Sheriff Ricky Moses reporting a man's body was recovered from the Sabine River this afternoon. Moses says they're still searching for 2 missing teens. He says the call came in around 2:30 this afternoon. We'll, of course, keep you posted with any new developments on air and online at KPLCTV.com. Well, Zach, final check of the weather.
Storm Vision HD shows if they're trying to recover those 2 teens from the Sabine, storms are moving into that location right there in Maryville right now. Some heavy thunderstorms, but for the most part, the heavy thunderstorm activity probably going to stay north of I-10. Still a few popcorn showers or storms possible for the next, say, 2 to 3 hours until we get the sunset.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a great evening.
Get your